Hey, what up, YouTube? This is No Cap, No Filter. I'm your host, Marley G, back at y'all another episode of Run It With You. And today we got to run about being in a relationship, but still want to go out and go clubbing frequently. Um, I think the club is for single people. I think when you're in a relationship, I'm not saying you can't go to the club. You could go out and have a nice time, have some drink, listen to some music with your significant other, or if your significant other won't go out and go have some drinks and go have a nice time with their friends, especially if it was some spare the moment stuff. They had some plans prior to the club and then they ended up at the club. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. But if you were someone whose only idea of fun is the club, I think that's where the problem come in at. I think that's when the problem is because they don't have a broad uh foundation of what fun is. Like you you have so much other things you could be doing to get whatever dopamine of excitement that you're looking for besides the club, especially if you like 25 and up. Like when you like 18 to 24, I get that's probably your most prime club years where you kind of experiment and seeing what kind of clubs you like, seeing what kind of drinks you like. You're gonna go through having your mistakes. You're gonna go through having your learning experiences. You're gonna learn how much you can intake when it comes to drinking. It's just an experience coming up. Now some people they just not club people at all. They don't like being around large crowds. It give them anxiety, or they just don't have any desire to be in the club. Me for example, I don't really have any anxiety to be in the club because I did it so much from 18 to 24. By the time I was 25, every year it started going lower and lower and down. And now the only time I do find myself in the club is if I'm on some type of vacation or something, because now I want to experience the culture wherever I'm at. Because if I'm in a different city or a different country, I want to experience all it has to offer. And the club is another one of those things I want to experience. I want to experience the food, the culture, the nightlife. Um, I want to experience the people. Just everything a new place has to offer. And I don't see nothing wrong with going to the club when you're on a trip on a vacation. That's when you're supposed to go have fun. But when you just living with someone and they constantly want to go to the club, every friend got a birthday every weekend, it's always an excuse to go out and go have drinks. That's when it's a problem to me. You know, um, I think the club is for single people to go out and go have fun and go mingle with other single people for the most part. You can be in a relationship and turn down offers, from drinks from men. You can be in a relationship and turn down offers from somebody trying to make it pass at you. That can be true, but don't even put yourself in that predicament. Is the what the main thing I'm trying to say? Don't even put yourself in a position where your partner has to worry about your safety. Because not only you got to worry about them getting temptation, you also got to worry about them getting into any harm or trouble. A lot of stuff that happens at night and stuff, that's typically when people get into fights. That's typically when people go to jail. That's typically when people get their car broken into, like getting anything stolen, having some type of huge uh intoxication, and one thing lead to another, and it just a lot of bad stuff can go wrong at the club. Versus when you can have other activities like fishing, you can have other activities like doing something outdoors. You could, depending on where you live, you might want to go hiking. um you know Stuff that you could just get you out your element. It's a lot of other things people can do, and activities and things of that nature people could try. And I just don't like people who just be stuck in a box. And there's a lot of other activities that black people do that we just only want to do those same activities, and we don't want to do nothing else because they'll look at it as, oh, that's what white people do, or that's, we black, we don't do that. Like, you gotta sometimes get up out your element and get up out your box, bro. It's a lot of different experience you could be missing out on that you will probably actually start to like. um Try, go try pickleball, go try Go take up a class to learn something new. It's a lot of new hobbies that you might tap into that you might actually find yourself being good at and actually start liking. You know, um, me personally, a lot of stuff that I want to get into as far as, go and have fun. I definitely want to try fishing. I definitely want to get into um I do go to the gun range. That to me is fun. And sometimes it could be fun and productive, because you want to be able to know how to protect yourself and be able to have some good aim. So, if you can knock out two birds with one stone, that's even better. But you ain't really knocking out nothing going to the club all the time. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, it also gives your partner that peace of mind that, you don't need the club. And if anything, if you do like the club or whatever, but you giving it up on behalf of your partner to compromise, go ahead on and do brunch instead. I think people would much rather a girl going to a brunch setting than a club setting, which you still got to worry about certain things regardless. But if your girl attractive enough, no matter where she's at, she's going to get hit on. It's just the name of the game. It's just one of those things you got to deal with when it comes to a relationship. She could go to the gas station or the supermarket. She's still going to get hit on about the same amount of times at a brunch setting. So now the only difference is when the mimosas is in her body, she might get tempted and be a little flirtatious. That's what people really, don't be wanting girls in these type of situations. But you gotta have trust in your girl. If you think you got a girl that a little drink's gonna get her flirtatious and start talking to other men and possibly get her number, then you made a wrong choice on the wrong woman in the first place. But all I'm saying is, bro, like that clubbing shit get played out, and after you a certain age, it's really kind of like a red flag and unattractive. Like, what you mean you 35 plus and you going to the club every single weekend? Like, that don't get draining to you. That don't get tiresome to you. Like, you doing the same shit every single weekend. And then some people, they go to different clubs. It's like, ah, damn, you going to all these different clubs. You really outside. And then some people, they have the same club where they're usual. They they go to these same clubs every weekend, and they see the same people every weekend, and be the usual people up in there. I'm probably saying the word wrong, not the usual people, but I don't know. Y'all put it down in the comments, but having a brain fart right there. But yeah, man. Sometimes, bro, when it comes to relationships, you got to learn to be able to compromise, especially if your partner has reached out to you and communicated with you and they say they don't feel comfortable with you, doing such activities. You're going to have to pump the brakes on it. Like actually do go to the club when it's somebody's birthday. Don't just lie and say it's somebody's birthday or it's somebody's birthday that you're not even really cool with. You just want to go because your friend ask you to go because that's their friend birthday. Like, that's not that much of a reason to go. Like, if that's their friend, let them go have fun with their friend. But if your friend birthday, then that's a different story. Um Even girls trips, even fellas trips, I think they probably got to get toned down a little bit when you're in a relationship, as far as going with friends. Now, if y'all going together, then it's a whole different story. Like, ain't nothing better than going to the club with your girl. Y'all going to have some drinks. Y'all coming home. Y'all coming tear it down afterwards. Y'all going on a trip together. Like, all that's cool. But I'm talking specifically about going to clubs with friends, and then friends could be influential. Friends could be influential in a bad way. Friends could tempt you to do something that you may not necessarily want to do or may not necessarily think is productive to your relationship, and that's when you got to realize, do you got the right group of friends? And that's when you got to realize, do your partner has the right group of friends? Because they kind of a reflection of them. Like, if you're around three wolves, you're gonna be the fourth wolf. If you're around three alley cats, you're the fourth alley cat. So it's like you are the company that you keep. So, I always advise people to vet not only the person that they talking to, but vet people friends. See how they friends act. Are they friends wild and rambunctious? Are they friends just, live life on the edge and make, decisions on the fly. Like, you got to really calculate that type of stuff. Or do they friends or any relationships? Do they got things to actually lose? Do they got their life together? But I'm gonna want to know what y'all think down in the comment section below. Go ahead on and let me know. Am I bugging? Like, is it not that big of a deal? Like, as long as you trust that person, let people live the way they want to live, or do you agree clubbing is for like single people? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you like the video, go ahead on and hit it with a like. Go ahead on and subscribe if you haven't already. If you want to see me speak on something, go ahead on and hit the email, nocapnofilter7@gmail.com. Let me know what you want to speak on. Or if you would like for me to react to a certain video, go ahead on and send it to the email as well, nocapnofilter7@gmail.com. Until next time, I'm out.